Hello guys and good evening. Welcome to some racing today in the Formula E Generation 3 car around the XL London E-Prix track here on rFactor 2. Guys, the final weekend in Formula E is awaiting us, and it's not only the final weekend for Formula E, it's also the final for the Formula E Accelerate Championship and the final for the Formula E Amped Championship. So maybe before going into driving, we quickly evaluate of what's actually happening this weekend. So I'm going to be in London. Jenny Simoncic and David Mrožek's going to be in London, and Cameron Roger is going to be in London. So we're all there in different functionalities and different roles. But effectively, what has gone on in the past couple of 2 or 3 months, Yane and David, they have competed in the Formula E Accelerate Championship, which is the esports part of the Formula E. I have participated in the Formula E Amped Championship, or Amped campaign, which is a campaign of social media people being at the track and doing some special coverage, doing some special tasks, doing some special games and quizzes, as you've seen on our social media panels and channels. Hello. Beep. So outtake, here we go. Anyway, this is all coming to an end together with the real Formula E Championship, which has the final 2 races in London as well. So there's racing happening. The esports guys are at London racing on the London E-Prix, and the Empt people are as well. So I think it's better time to get on with some practice because, you know, lots of people going to be there, lots of interesting stuff is happening, and I think it's about time for us to hit the track. So yeah, let's explore the London E-Prix track together here on rFactor 2. Yes, we have raced on this circuit a couple of months and weeks ago when the new Gen 3 car was released. I think I took the car around here for some show laps. But let's face it, it wasn't really the kind of esport practice that we've put into. And now I think it's a bit more time to get serious because we need a check on the track. We need a check on how to drive this car, and for you guys it shall be an appetizer for the upcoming events on this weekend. So the Accelerate Championship, Formula E Accelerate Championship, is going to take place Saturday 3 p.m. Central European Summer Time. You guys will be able to see this race on the official Formula E YouTube and Twitch channels, but additionally I'm able to host the race as well on my Twitch channel, so make sure to tune in to not miss the coverage. And about ourselves, I'm going to have the race on Sunday, and you will find out about that result in the upcoming week. So that is probably the safest way to say it right now as we go for our first flyer here. Ramon, thank you so much for joining us tonight with the stream. Hope you enjoy your time. So here we go, in the Excel Arena. Tricky circuit. I think starting with Berlin, then picking Rome, which was considerably difficult to drive on, but this I think is even next level. When I looked at the calendar, I was like, maybe Rome is the hardest track, but I disagree. I think it is London. Because what you see right now is just me trying to get up to speed with the standard setup that I'm going to race with. Obviously, the esport people will have a little bit more adjustability, so we will advance to that in a moment. But the practice I'm doing here right now is just really to see how is the car behaving on the standard setup. How do I need to drive it in order to be quick? Because I do not have the availability of changes on the car, so that makes me being probably a little bit disadvantaged, or not disadvantaged, but let's say I cannot really unleash the full potential on these rigs because you know, when there's ABS and traction control in place, because as you can imagine, a lot of people that are hanging out there as a fan, they want to take a drive and, you know, they want to enjoy the car and not tackle the physics with it. So sadly, we're not really unleashing what rFactor 2 is even able to do. However, if I know the abilities of the car, I can probably drive in a way that I do not have to rely as much on these electronic assistances, how they are called, with traction control and ABS enabled. So in order to fully understand what the car can do and what it can't do, so that I can underdrive it accordingly, and hopefully not make actual use of the electronic techniques that much, we need to get some laps in as well. And we're gonna get the laps in without any driving aids whatsoever. So no ABS, no traction control, no braking help whatsoever. Just pure driving to really get a feel for the car. And then later on we might switch to ABS and traction control on, so that you guys also see how much these systems interfere with your driving. But for the time being, we just kind of warm ourselves up, get a hang on the track. Bonk. So, Ramon, I appreciate your feedback on our content here on rFactor 2. Please note, chat readability is something that is not going to be easy today, as you can see from the track layout. And Ramon, you are right. Formula E tracks are considerably hard to pass. So this series is so different in so many ways. The driving of a kind of formula car might still be the same, but the racing overall is so different. It's like you're playing a chess game, where to lift and coast, how to invest the energy, when to take the attack mode. Do you lose places? If you lose them, can you regain them or can't you regain them? Lots of stuff that needs to be thought about strategically. So that makes this series somewhat different compared to other series. Which is obviously nice in a way, but yeah, it needs to be adapted to. Personally, if I like understeer or oversteer, I would consider myself being a guy more interested in oversteer, because if the car doesn't turn, there's maybe not much you can do as a driver apart from further underdrive it, trying to maximize that little bit of performance that is in the car. But if you're able to steer an oversteery car, then you can make a difference as a driver, as in how much can you rely on that oversteery balance and kind of fixing it or adapting to it with the steering and pedal inputs. Whereas when you understeer and just go straight, obviously there's not much you can do. So I guess that sums it up pretty well. Crazy how close you can go to these walls. Even when you think you're now going to certainly hit that wall, the car eventually passes it. But yeah, if you put on a foot into the wrong lane on this track, it's not just one bonk, it's multiple bonks that you're going to suffer from, for sure. As regarding the tire wear, that is obviously enabled here as well, as we're coming for another 21.8. Trying to not lock up these tires at all, trying to not overdrive and over push them. As you can see, it's not particularly easy to just hit the lines perfectly. This was completely effed up, yet somehow it's not slower. Car doesn't like dray braking in the standard configuration at all. With standard configuration, I mean the brake bar has been set, I think, to 44, 43. You see, it's very difficult to kind of unsettle the rear, so you're rather unsettling the rear from overdriving it on the power rather than actual braking. or going sideways over a bump. Choose the option I just named. So this is what I mean. If you put out a foot wrong, it's not a single bong. You're gonna be a pinball or ping pong ball over the track for sure. So maybe you can still improve it. Smooth is fast in this car. This goes for acceleration, deceleration, turning, for so many things. The more smooth you drive it, the faster you're gonna go with it as you're really getting into a rhythm here. As you can see. And I think... I nudged that wall. Rhythm... Oh, I nudged it again and it's nudging it twice. So we can kind of abort that lap already again. So we're soon about putting it more towards the Esports settings, which you will see a huge difference in terms of driving. As I also have to admit that we're kind of losing tire and car performance here. As the tires are rubbering off, they are not really overheating, but let's say they don't get into a particularly better shape from just driving. But before really getting for a new car and a fresh set of tires, there is still lap time to be gained from the pure driving point of view, so we're gonna go for that. Rachel Kwon, hello. Yes, last time I did beat Marcella, indeed. How do you know? This was a pretty good Sector 1 so far. So you can also see it from it being a deep green delta here on our intersection. 1.5 10 we're up. Ultiman suggests that we should do karting around this track. It's not a bad idea, although I'm not sure how good rental carts would take this double hairpin. I nudged the wall again. This chicane, there is so much potential just left to be found. Can we pick up more speeds? Not really. Slow down enough. Oh, we're coming for a high 21 again. Crazy. 21, well, 22-0. This turn 3, I haven't really got a hang of it. Like, I haven't touched the inside curb yet. So arguably, I've not even made the apex once. No Ramon, no margin for error here at all. Yeah. Oh, she's from the area you live in. So do you know her personal then? Tiago, thank you so much for your follow. Appreciate it. Oh, that is too late on the brakes. That would be awesome for the attack mode, I'm afraid. But not for a lap time. So, tires look kind of alright. It is the rear that is wearing out more for me here. And I can assure you that it's going to be even more for the Esport people, because I'm sure the Esport people are doing low 20s, maybe even 19s. And maybe there's a way of me being able to do those lap times too. Maybe we can find out. First. Nudge that wall again. Can we finally do it? Doesn't seem like it. No. So I think this car is, or these tires are not able to do me any faster than what I already did. So let's see. One more lap. If we can somehow slide it together. But I think this is like, remember, I said smooth is fast. This is not smooth. So it's not going to be fast. Yes. Fresh set of tires we need. 21.8 to beat. Let's see. Yeah, okay, I see, but she's probably rather well known in Holland, just as is Maxime, I guess. Ramon Agosto, thank you so much for your subscription on the YouTube channel, much appreciated. Welcome to the Esport practice for the Formula E Accelerate Championship. Well, it's okay. Let's be fair. It's not Esport preparations because I'm not going to do the Esport race. I'm going to do the Formula E Amped campaign race, which is rather against social media talents than actual diehard sim racers. Although we have Maxime, MXM, we have Gamer Muscle Videos, we got Kirith on the roster as well. So there are a couple of sim racers that we are competing against that. But now, for the moment, we compete against ourselves and then try to esport the car, esport this machine more around the circuit and see what we can do then. I guess at least low 20s or 19s would be reasonably good lap times. So, as for the moment, I believe tires are still a bit too cold. Wow. I overcooked the chicken again. There is still the 10th to be found, I guess. This final sector can be loads better. It is still a 210th improvement, 121.5. Alright. Ow. Yeah, so perhaps another 210th. Let's see how much time we can gain for another run. Tires are probably good for 3 or 4 more goes. And then we're about to start esporting this. With the esporting, I mean, right now we run on the set default configuration for the car, which is the configuration I'm going to run in the Amped Championship. I'm also going to run ABS and traction control there, which is really... I don't like it. But I guess for the variety in skill we got on that grid, plus the people that are coming to the fan village, jumping in those gaming rigs, enjoying their time with a little bit of Formula E, I'm afraid they need those assists, as I already have mentioned beforehand. But yeah, as a sim race, it's obviously a bit of a bummer, but whatever. We're just happy to do some racing. And we're also going to release a track guide either tomorrow or even tonight. Ah! 4.5 tenths, Mitchie! Ay, 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 ay! Why? Don't do it. Simply don't do it. Look at this. It's still a PB despite this massive error. So what is the issue with this default setup? For me, the brake balance is way too much to the front, which means as soon as I'm kind of jailbreaking into the turns, the car just tends to understeer instead of turning at all. Which needs to be overcome by underdriving the machine so bad. And yeah, for these hairpin chicanes, whatever, the car's just not ready at all. So what I would do, and I'm doing this straight, I have no idea what the Esport people will be running, but I think around 40-ish brake balance might help. Because what you need to do, and we're coming from 44% of balance, you need to be somewhat able to drail brake into the turn, kinda slightly, ever so slightly losing the rear, or over braking on the rear. So let's see what this does. Two 10th up already. Oh yeah, look at this. So this isn't the straight understeer that we are used to going into these hairpins. It is a 3.5 tenth improvement so far. Oh, this was a bonk into the wall. This is a spin. See, Valadares, thank you very much for the follow. Much appreciated. Alright. Let's consider this being the first lap to just get used to it. You've already seen the rear end is a bit more loose, so you can drail brake into the turn, rotating the car nicely into the apex. Which is exactly what we need with this car. Yeah, that is 3/10 worth of time alone. Just having the chance to jailbreak into these hairpins. Not saying getting the car into a straight drift, but at least getting the car into a rearwards rotation. And this also helps for these turns, because you can push them more in between. And then I hit the wall. Okay, you know what? Fresh set of tires. Esport brake bias. Well, let's say it's not full Esport yet. But I'm sure with a fresh set of tires, 2 warm-up laps, and a bit more feeling for the braking, we will easily go into the 20s. Or maybe not easily, but... Yes, Rage Recon, it will be rookie friendly, which is fine. I mean, you know, we want people to enjoy Formula E and the Sims rigs and the simulation as such. So we don't want to have them sitting on the rigs and be like, I can't drive this stuff, this is not what it is supposed to be, and so on. So yeah. Arguably that was too quick into turn 1. But remember what I said about we need the tires to be warmed up. Yeah, we're just 2.5 tenths behind. So by the end of turn 9, we will turn that into a green delta. There you go. I couldn't even introduce the rear slip. So from now on, it's all about getting the car pointy, getting the car into a flow, but not into a spin. And this is finally the point where I was mentioning you can now make use of that brake, rotating this car. At least identical. Tight. It is a stressful circuit though. Like, oh yeah, beautiful. So you see the Esport brake bias just getting the car nicely around the turns, 3.5 tenths up. Eight tenths up. Second up. Slightly missed it. Well, 8.5 tenths, 20.7. Oh my god. I'm so sorry. Oh, I felt that coming through turn 3. So, can we perfectionate? Maybe. Yeah, to get that second slide right is probably just a mystery. And I have huge issues with this hairpin. I think I haven't done one single lap where I was like, yep, this is exactly how you should take it. It's probably also because you can take it in many different ways. You can take it early apex, go a bit wider, compromise the entry into 18, or you can take it a bit later, optimizing the apex into 18. Yeah, I don't know. Same time, I have the feeling I'm kind of steering too much. Yeah. Smooth as fast, Mitchie. Not sliding as fast. Only way where sliding would be fast is these turns. But here I was too kind of stupid now to get the car sliding, and you see straight away, half a second off. And this is the part where Esport is so insane. If I would be racing with those Esport guys, I would have had to do hours and hours of practice to perfection at each and every lap slide around this hairpin. Damn it. So we still made up some time. Oh yes. Sliding away too much. Okay, I want to go even more extreme. And I don't know. Oh, so dangerous though. In some steps, spots the rear already steps out. In other steps, the car is kind of stable. So going down the banking, you need to be in the kind of... If you just slightly drifted to the left, the car awesomely grips once it hits the ground zero. This is not working. Enjoy taking the same throttle. Just need to brake earlier for this turn. Alright. Give this a go. Shit. Well, 1.5 tenths off only, kind of. You want to call that only? Too wide. Need to slow down too much for this triple chicane here. And that will cost me eventually all the momentum. Oh. Yeah, okay. Rally style around the penultimate turn. And that kind of jinxes it then anyway. Missing that apex is never good. Yeah. I have some small technical issue here. Shoes open. Too much Esport for the equipment. Short maintenance we do. And we keep carrying on. I kind of smell I can do low 20. Yes, but after that, probably that's about it. I fear I am turning too much on that steering wheel, so I would further need to manipulate the steering in a way that either I increase the wheel range or I finally tell my brain to, yes, do this, turn less. So you see, either or. Usually I would have said it's easier to tell the game to have a different steering rotation because the game will just carry it out instead of telling your brain to do less steering. Because as you can see, the brain is just not carrying it just out like a machine. Oh boy, 2/10. Not perfect, but rather well. You keep the 2/10 at least, which is a bonus. A beautiful drift slide around this hairpin. So my brain kind of works. Did I just say my brain kind of works? Yeah. I take that back. We can still do it. We can still do it. Too wide. Too narrow into 8. Yeah, brain stopped working in that corner indeed. Can't park there, mate. Okay, we'll give it a fresh set of tires. I think the rear was a bit... And this is the thing. You need to be so good off with that rear managing. Ah yeah, sorry. Straight understeer galore. have the feeling you need to kind of flip it around the chicane as well. This is not really what I like. Too much steering input. I don't get these tires. They have so much grip if you just turn in a little. And they lose all its grip if you turn in more. Like, who has put this wall there? It's... I don't know how many good laps have died at that wall already. And I don't mean just by me. Too deep. Too much turning. It's nice when you are able to kind of live analyze your issues. Doesn't mean that they are gone though. You would think that you can easily take them away. That's a no. I think tires don't have the optimal temperature just yet. Ooh. Yeah, bonk. That's the wall of champion, there's the bump of champions then. Two and a half tenths, here we go. Beautiful drift. A bit too long actually. Now I'm lacking the rotation here. Great. No! How much time did I just lose there? Jesus Christ. Yeah, that's the thing when you are going too quick over that crest. And because you go in so quick for the very first time, you do that mistake. So, a 20.4. With these tires, they have probably one more lap in it. I keep the fronts going at least. It was kinda nice. Hairpin here though. Too early on throttle. This is crazy. If you just hit the brake threshold the same, it's like someone is putting a rear jacker under your under the car on the rear and it just gets skateboarded around the walls. It's just crazy. So I gained 3.5 tenth alone. In the... Okay. Yeah. This is bad driving. I'm kind of triggered though. It's 10 minutes. I know that I have 4.5 tenth in the final sector. So you can imagine the plan. Oh yes. Here we go. Esports settings with the brake bias. And then I will even jump into the car, because this is going to be my last possible practice, because I'm flying out effectively on a Friday already. So what I'm going to do then is I turn on the driving aids, because that is the kind of condition that I will experience the car in. And then you'll see a massive, massive difference straight away compared to the esports stuff and generally to the overall driving. And then you also get the point why the rigs on the side are going to be put on that way. So there is a full tenth to be gained at. Out of 2.2 we came. Yeah, there is 4/10 in it, so I need to grab them. Match that wall. Yeah, we're 2/10 off. Ah, 2.5 tenth off. Two and a half tenth off still. Taking it a bit easier into the final section. Still losing that stupid rear. Races on Saturday for the eSport people, yeah. Itchy! I'm pretty sure I can show you a virtual optimal lap time of 1:19. I'm not in the finale. I'm on a different series. Kind of a finale as well for me. You'll see social media posts on Instagram, Facebook and so on. Itchy, like 20 meters to the apex. Goodness me. Oh yeah, and then we nudge the wall out of rhythm. And yet, with those 3.5 tenths back, we can still do it. Okay, I take one more set. It's just 5 minutes to go anyway. This is it, right? You are on this. I want to just do a little bit of practice, and I have a little bit of a plan of what I want to do. And suddenly you're like, hey, you're treating it like a freaking hot lap competition. Seriously? Oh, yes. That's us. This is where the apex is. But these hairpins, actually, it feels like you need even more brake bias to the back. But okay, I'm just gonna keep with what it is. Oh, Mitchie, brakes, 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 brakes. Yeah, it would be absolutely awesome to not have a shit final exit, but yeah, okay. No, a single wall of concrete would have done the job as well. No, it had to be two. So, regardless of the performance that we have here, we're gonna put out a track guide later on today, maybe tomorrow. Now we see, hopefully the tires to be somewhat warmed up. On point. Not on point. And that's where you lose vital 2/10 then. Not into the wall though, at least. But still 2.5 tenths down. Okay, I get one more shot at it. Because this is the final lap session then. Come on. Ah, the exit, the exit. Anyway, we're still hot. No! No! That wiggle was too much. Mamma mia. Yes! I, I told you I'm going to do the 119.99997 as a virtual PB. So I can do a 19, it's proven. Okay, but there is one more final thing to do. We restart the weekend because I'm yet to show you how the driving is going to be for me, which is traction control high, ABS high, and now enjoy the car. And obviously, for the time being, I think brake bias set to default. I will give it a couple of laps like this. I will also then change the brake bias to the rear and see what happens. Knossa947, thank you so much for the follow. Appreciate it. Alright, so, and here we go. Remember, we could do mid-20s with the non-esport, well, like with the esports style, esport way of driving. I'll show you what we get here. Not a chance to even unsettle the rear, as you can imagine, thanks to ABS and traction control. This is the other thing that you get though. Yeah, so as you can see, I was full on the brakes. And this is, I hate this so much. You need to underdrive the car, so you must not get into that condition where you are full on the brakes and the ABS is just taking every brake away because you're turning. So you can brake the car in a straight line, but you can't turn it. Oh, this is so nice explained. Speeds in my brain. It's not working. I have been so much quicker. With no ABS and no traction control. And now imagine, I esported Berlin so bad in order to make it into this final event as well. So I would have probably made it into the main event like David has done it now, like Janne has done it now. I would have achieved that. And coming to Berlin onto those rigs for the public with all those driving assistants turned on. Jesus Christ, I was like, I'm gonna make a fool of myself because I'm in the wall literally every other turn because I'm hitting the brake, everything's good, then I start turning in like this. But the car, it, like, you see, it doesn't stop. There's no chance of stopping it. And this was a killer. It took me literally 5 to 10 minutes to really accept that this is not possible. I had to completely relearn the driving. And you're gonna see the same here. Remember, we did 20.4. Low 21s easily. Let's see what we can do with this one, if we don't crash. We can brake a lot later into turn 1, yes. So as you can see, I just released the brakes completely and the car just behaved the same way. If ABS kicks in while you are turning, it's like you're not braking at all. And this is exactly the issue. You can't get the car to turn, to brake, to slow down. Imagine your road car would be doing this. Dear insurance, send help. So we agree that this was probably not the cleanest lap. We can probably be a lot cleaner here. So we're trying that, but still 23.8. We may also agree that I won't find seconds here. Can apply more brakes by maximum turning the wheel to increase the friction on the front end. It's ridiculous. I'm not blaming the Esport or obviously the Formula E organization for putting out that decision. I totally get why they are doing it. It's just turn. In hindsight, you need to be extremely accurate with driving. So the more, this is what I was saying in the beginning of the stream, the more smooth you drive and the more controlled, the less you need those technical helping systems being interacting with your car, the faster you can go. Because the less the ABS and the TC of the game kicks in, the less it can slow you down. Because, as you can see, if no traction control or ABS at all, I could do a lot quicker. Because my driving abilities are still better wrestling the car in those conditions than this technical help assisting my driving, which is to a certain extent fine, because, you know, it would be shit if I could drive off my, you know what, and someone has been there with the steering help or with the traction control or the ABS be like, yeah, I'm just gonna rely on the electronics here and turn the wheel a bit. So that is obviously a plus. So, at the same time, there is something, though, what I like about ABS and traction control in this particular car. Maybe also in this particular track. But I'm more like in this particular car and overall circumstances. Which is driving this car around the circuit feels much more real in this condition compared to the drifts like galore we do when in esporting. So, if you watch Formula E, if you look at how these cars are handling, and then you watch me going around these turns with ABS and TC, not with a single little bit of sliding, just with clean driving, then you'll be like, yeah, this is exactly what the real life racing cars look like to be driven. And this is where I'm like, the car should drive exactly like it's driving right now, but with this should be the case without all the assists. The issue is, though, as I'm clipping this wall for the 4th consecutive time, I think, I understand that physics are more powerful than this, obviously. So we do it 22.2, which is 2 seconds different. Let's see what happens if I go for the Esport brake bias. I still think... Yeah, so there's not too much assistance. In hindsight, though, I would at least be able to get in a little bit of a trail brake here. So if I'm able to adjust the brake bias in my rig, I know how to improve the performance of this car. Let's turn this even more extreme because we obviously have the ABS. So nothing can happen. So let's see, can we improve the lap time with manipulating the brake bias to the Esports setting? Oh shit. Ow. Well, we already clipped the wall. Let's make a dry test here, 1.5 seconds of difference. Gained half a tenth, let's say. Can't obviously fix late braking too late, that's not possible. Go for another one. Actually, we should do this with a fresh car. Because obviously the tires are going down and suffering. So, kind of the final lap we're doing. Oh boy. You really need to be slowed down in time. Otherwise, you're just plain slow. You see that little bit, that tiniest little bit of turning while braking, and can't do anything. A brake will just not engage. Same with the traction control. I feel like it's so beneficial when you just get the car and the steering wheel as straight as possible, as soon as possible, without actually maximizing using the track here. There's a clear 10th gain. Bit a bit too easy here. Ooh, what a slide. Immediately the TC cuts in. Takes away that 10.5 lap time advantage that we have. So the answer to that is the same issue still applies. But obviously, with rear wards braking, the ABS kicks in much later compared to front locking, obviously. So 22.1. Ah, mid-sheet. Brake and then turn. So 3/10 gone just in that corner, for sure. And a half 10. Tenth gain. Don't slide it here on the exit, then you can gain that time. There you go. Slow down more in time here for the hairpin. A bit more straight braking. At least I saw the curve on the inside of the mirror. Straight lining the exit. Braking in a straight line up the hill. Turn in. Stay tight. Final turn, same game. Awesome. So you see, there is potential in also esporting the setup, the driving, even though you have the electronic driving assistance on. Still worth it. Because you also will override the early engage of ABS and TC. So this is the final lap though. Gonna call it a day then. Oh yes. Not even going to finish the lap. So guys, that's it for this one. That's it for tonight. Tune in on Saturday, 3 p.m. Central European Summertime on the Formula E YouTube channel, on the Formula E Twitch channel, and on this channel here for live race coverage. We're going to check out how the stuff is going on our social media pages as well, so make sure to follow them. Beyond that, we are about to get prepared for our trip to London. So what's going to happen on this weekend? Formula E is going to go into their final races of the season, a doubleheader in London to crown the Formula E champion. Also, Formula E Accelerate Championship is on with David Mrožek and Janis Simoncic from the Burst Esport team in the finals. So that is going to be part of the series. And then on Sunday, I'm going to have a race around this track on those simulators right there for the Amped Championship. We're currently leading that championship and trying to... Oh yeah, I forgot that the brakes are not working on this car because it's all just electronic brake-by-wire, and if you put in neutral, there is no gear, so you can't regenerate any electricity and brake the car. Anyway, coming back to the point, yeah, I'm going to race this car as well around this track. So that was our little practice session for that, guys. I hope you've enjoyed it. Please, if you appreciate our content, have a follow on Twitch, subscribe us on the YouTube channel, make this community grow. And yeah, come back for more rFactor streaming, for more Formula E content. Guys, have a good one, everyone. See you. Bye-bye. Oh, note, my next stream most likely on Monday or Tuesday. Guys, have a good weekend, everyone. See you. Bye-bye.